Well, my name is Marie Jones, and wow, it's been so quiet. Anyway, I'm feeling really good about life today after going through so much trauma in my life. What has got me to this place of hope is reconnected with my higher power, with God and my spirituality, trying to let go of the pain that I went through, realizing that it wasn't just about me, it's just some circumstances that we go through in our lifetime. I've been through so much that it's kind of hard for me to, I wish I really would have had time to really prepare for this, but like you said, bring it from your heart. Been through a lot of trauma from childhood up to an adulthood. Left home at the age of 14 after going through a lot of trauma in my home, a lot of physical and mental abuse in the household, even sexual abuse that I've gone through, caused me to start smoking marijuana at the age of 13 years old. Also, through the use of drugs, have a person who got in contact with me that was, I used to always say, this person that came in my life caused me to do a lot of I nevers, but by being so hurt and staying isolated most of my life from the pain that I went through, I have connected with a person who paid my way through a lot of negative things by supplying me drugs, by housing me away from my family while I was isolating and using and abusing drugs as a result of all the pain that I suffered. Left home at the age of 14 years old to be with a 29-year-old man, looking for a father figure. Through the abuse in my childhood, I left home, like I said, at 14. And I've had 4 children, one when I was 16. I have 4 daughters, 35, 29, 26, and 15. Throughout all the pain that I went through in my lifetime, using drugs, 25 years drug-free that I am now. And when I got free from drugs, I thought it was over. Then I realized that I had a mental health issue. I've suffered from depression for over 25 years. My mother had depression. She was soft and quiet-spoken, never really said much, but very loving. My father was more on the rough side, and coming up in the household that I came up in, it was a lot of drug abuse, a little violence, the side effects of addictive behaviors and use of drugs. And by me being the youngest of 7, me and my brother Roscoe, we used to just cling to one another because we thought that we were going to go through the same things that everybody else went through. He died at the age of 22. He got killed, got stabbed in the heart. And I ran all the way to the house where he died, got stabbed in the heart, came all the way back to our home where we lived at, and he died right there. And that was something that took my drug addiction even to another level, greater level. Also suffered from a child that I carried for 7 months, stillborn, died in my stomach. The placenta came out first and traveled to my lungs. So I've struggled with lung cancer for 3 years. I've been completely healed from lung cancer. Like I said, the 25 years that I've suffered from depression, I thought that all I went through, even in past relationships, in past marriage, that the pain was just from that person, and that was it. Once they were going out of my life, the pain was over. But no, I still struggled and I still suffered. And I realized that, and I kept going to therapy and all those things that you're supposed to do when you're going through those changes. Then I found out that I had bipolar disorder and the major depression. Once I found out about the bipolar disorder, it was hard for me to take drugs, even medication, because I've been clean for 25 years. So I did not want to take any drugs. So when I finally decided to take them and realized that they said you may have to take it the rest of your life, then I started feeling a lot better. Like, wow, they have something I have to take this, but it's helping me feel better with my own self. So I accepted the fact that I have to take it, and I started taking Abilify and Wellbutrin. And the Abilify, because I was manic with the bipolar a lot, and I was very hyper, happy-go-lucky type of person. But when I started taking Abilify, it had took away the manic, but it also took away me. It took away my personality. It shut me down. And this was like about 5 years ago. I was working at a Rising House Behavioral Health as a certified peer specialist. I became a peer specialist in 2009. And in 2009, I worked from 2009 to 2011. I stopped taking my medication, and through all the stress of working with mental health, it kind of took me back under, like it was too much for me. And then I came out of working. I said I was going to go on a medical leave, but I never went back, never came back. And one thing I say about this conference is it has really already within a day changed my life, because I realized I only could tell like maybe a pinch of my story right now, but it's so much more, and it's not even rehearsed. I'm just saying it from my heart, but God is going to give me exactly what to say and how to say it to give hope to others, because what I've learned through all that I went through, that I suffered depression longer because I focused on my problems, my negative problems, my circumstances, my situations, more than God and what He had for me. And because of that, it kept me depressed longer. It kept me down longer, kept me drained of life longer. But when I started really seeking God and seeking my spirituality more and having more hope in God and what is my purpose on this earth, and I realized, like, wow, I do have a purpose. Through all that I went through and the 25 years of depression, I've been writing since 2001. And I have a couple books inside of me now. I have the title for the first one. It's called Approved by Circumstantial Evidence, Raised to Praise, because of all that I went through. No matter how much and how much I felt like a victim of my circumstances, to now, the day, I feel like a victor. Like I'm here to be able to share my story with someone else. And I didn't realize that through all the pain that I went through, someone else can get hope from it. And then I realized, like, wow, working now at a company with welfare, doing Medicaid, I'm on the phone all the time. And although I left the job as a peer specialist, I'm still doing the same type of thing on the phone with people crying about their medical, and I jump right into that mode of trying to help them and all. And I'm like, wow, this is just in me, I have to go back to the peer specialist job that God has given me to let me to, and start sharing my story of what I went through, to give hope to other people who are struggling and suffering with mental health illnesses. Today, I have family members who don't even know that I have this mental health illness. So by me coming out and speaking about it, and they'll probably wonder, wow, is that why she never really came out and be amongst everyone? I was isolated for years and years. I just dealt with my family, my children. I was able to maintain my housing Once I came into recovery, I got Section 8 and Philadelphia housing. I've never had anything cut off, always maintained my bills, always been the best parent that I could be. My daughters are very proud of me. They're very successful. They're doing well. And throughout all that I went through, I struggled raising them, but I did the best I could, and it turned out okay. So I'm like, wow, I did something good, in spite of all. And now they're praising me, and I'm like, well, I could have did this better, or I could have did that better. But I thank God that they recognize that all that Mommy went through, she still did the best she could for us. And they're all doing well now, and they're very grateful. And I'm a proud parent today of 4 girls. Just recently got married July 2nd with someone that I met at Horizon House Behavioral Health 2009. And we've been together for 7 years. And I feel like the rest of my life is just going to be greater than the past. I give hope to anyone who's struggling and dealing with depression, that you can overcome, you can get through it. And, with all the stigma was one of the reasons why I didn't come out. I didn't want no one to say, well, wow, she's crazy. The things that they say about people with mental health illnesses. But today, even being nervous sharing it now, but knowing that this is the beginning, I want to go out and share my story with the world. Wherever God takes me, I want to go. And if I can bring hope to anyone, just to say, just hold on. Keep the faith. Don't spend too much time focusing on your problems. Try to spend more time focusing on the solution. And what can you do about the problem? Do everything you can to help yourself. And you will run into the right people at the right place and at the right time. And even being here today, I know it's the right place, the right time. When I seen you, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have put no mascara on, because, you just touched my heart. Like, wow, it opened up something like, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be doing the same thing. You can share your story. It's okay. You've been through it, but you're okay today. So go out and share, And I'm just so grateful now for life, even my pain that I've struggled with. I'm finding joy now, even through what I went through. I have a lady who I just recently met. I had a women's fellowship in my home. Went through a 30-day transformation class to draw yourself closer to God. And I have never, in the 25 years that I've been saved and drug-free, gotten closer to my spirituality than I did in this last 3 months. I've changed so much, it's like a miracle. I'm like, what I know today compared to all those years, it's just amazing. I feel like a butterfly, a cocoon just growing the wings now. I feel like a kid that's just going to the candy store for the first time. I feel like when I go out and see the flowers, I'm like, wow, I never recognized that before. I'm just enjoying my life one day at a time. And I'm staying in touch with my spirituality, staying in touch with God, praying more, seeking His guidance more. Because without that, I still have bipolar disorder. But no matter what disorder you have, if you really stay in connection with God and learn to hear His voice, there's nothing greater than that. He will lead and guide you into all truth.